Hey, so the Twisted League ended up happening recently in RuneScape. Although I'm a bit late to the party, but it happened a month ago at this point, so a little late to talk about this as being relevant. But the thing is, I wanted to actually get this out of the way so I could actually talk about why I enjoyed the Twisted League and what I really loved, and more or less what I actually did in the Twisted League. And before this is like, oh, I just logged in, did those 10 points, and like, I actually got a pretty decent score out the Twisted League. If you want to actually try to see exactly how many points, it was roughly 12,000 points in the area, and I ended up getting the Rune Trophy, top 5%. So I got pretty much a good estimate of what I ended up doing. My throat. This is a really good first impression. But I really enjoyed the Twisted League. I really had fun with it. When I first went into the Twisted League, I didn't really know what to really do, because I kind of just went around, did my own thing for a while, and then halfway through I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get every point I can possibly get. I'm going to get every point I could possibly get. Because I actually realized I was decently in the running for top 5%. More or less, actually, just randomly in the top 20%. My original goal in the game was to get specifically 4,000 points for the house, and then afterwards I would try to aim to be the top 20%. So just getting the top 20% was my entire goal from the start, purely because everyone else would leave. So I just thought I would have enough determination to actually get through everything. So that was my own thought process going through this, and for the most part, it really worked. It really worked. If you want to actually check how much total time I ended up playing, here it is. I did the math on that. That's actually nearly 4 hours a day I spent on Twisted League. I spent more time than I thought. I thought it was like, I could totally get this, like, all this, no problem. I'm not spending too much time in RuneScape. 4 hours a day. Granted, those last 10 hours were on the last day where everyone was trying to get every single goddamn point. That was honestly kind of hilarious. Just, God, the last day was the most intense. What was my thought process again? I want to get to the point where I want to talk about my regrets and my decision-making process through that. And we're going to be talking about all the relics that I particularly chose and what my main strategy was throughout this whole endeavor. So, first of all, my first relic that I ended up choosing in the entire game was the Abyssal Accumulator, which was the biggest mistake that I've ever done. Like, woo, big mistake. I really shouldn't have. I should have chosen Endless Endurance. My own thought process was when going into this was, I'm gonna be the mage that I always wanted to be. Just get that 99 magic and then dip. I never got that as a kid. I did not have the patience that I did as a kid as I do now. I would not be spending 4 hours a day on RuneScape. Oh boy. But just spending 4 hours a day, I could not have that patience as a kid. And I wanted to just be a mage. I wanted to explore the combat stuff. I wanted to more or less actually. I was actually thinking of learning the Chambers of Xeric through Twisted League, which never ended up happening. I ended up skilling the entire time. These were my stats here. Just pointing that up there. Those are my stats. I did not focus on combat that much. I focused on combat a little bit. Most of that training was just, honestly, half of that training for those stats were last minute, to be honest. That 80 magic, that was all gotten through just getting all the master clues that I was doing last minute. That same thing with the range, that was all last minute. Melee stats, all last minute. I did not do any combat whatsoever. And that's pretty much why I was doing that. And because I was doing a lot more skilling stuff, I really would have actually preferred Endless Endurance, especially with the route that I ended up taking for the other relics. You'll see why in a moment here. Mostly because some of the skilling stuff that I ended up doing actually involved a lot of run. So that's also a big mistake. But the second relic that I did was realistically what I ended up really abusing. And this was kind of what determined my entire pathway through going through the league, which was Hardcore Harvester. I chose the Hardcore Harvester relic because I thought, uh, so actually, the only reason I took Hardcore Harvester initially was because I wasn't too serious on this point here. The only reason was because I was too lazy to go back from barbarian fishing to get more feathers. So I'm just like, I'm gonna triple my fish catch so I can use the fish offcuts for the bait. That's the only reason I took Hardcore Harvester, actually. I'll be honest, that's the only reason. I had no plan afterwards. I had nothing. I was just too lazy, so I put myself through more effort. That's my mentality. Just, I'm too lazy to do one other thing, so I'll just do another thing that's even more tedious. But Hardcore Harvester ended up being, like, by far my best choice throughout the entire league. Because, realistically, it's just Hardcore Harvester. Triple the resources. That was actually really good, and I'm also going to be mentioning this one point here. During the last few minutes of the Twisted League, during the last day, I actually found my one and only Redwood Tree Seed. And that was, bam. I will say, had I not have Hardcore Harvester, I would not have gotten those 250 points. Straight up, I would not have gotten those points. Just the fact that it actually ends up speeding up the farming thing. I actually kind of could AFK at the farming guild for the most part, and kind of just, I was fletching magic longbows to get 99 fletching, finish that off. I just kind of got that random redwood tree seed from a bird's nest, to be honest. But my early strategy was just get random points. I was going to do the Winter Todd, obviously, but I wanted to get 60 agility first, so that's why I was at the Barbarian fishing, and that's why I ended up getting the Hardcore Harvester perk. And after I got the Hardcore Harvester perk, I ended up trying to get fire making to 99 at that point. And then I ended up getting my third relic, which was the Eye of the Artisan. When I took Hardcore Harvester, I kind of realized Gathering was going to be a lot more harder. Gathering was going to be significantly more harder to get experience for, and the first thought I had was getting Gathering because it would offset that tediousness. But what I ended up doing instead was doubling the effectiveness of that Hardcore Harvester for the Artisan skills. And that's what I wanted to do. That's what I ended up doing. And I really abused that thing throughout a lot of things. That's how I got 99 smithing. That's how I got 80 construction, actually, to be honest. And that's really how I got 99 fletching, just from abusing the Hardcore Harvester. And honestly, you'll start seeing this as a point throughout what a lot of the top percentage of players did was they abused their relics. It's really all about how much you can abuse a relic. When I took the Abyssal Accumulator, that was basically my big regret. And because I didn't abuse the Abyssal Accumulator at all. You can absolutely see by my stats, again, I did not abuse the Abyssal Accumulator. I only abused it a couple of times in my memory, and in all honesty, it wasn't that worth it. It was kind of worth it, but not really that worth it. The only thing that I actually can remember having it like really happily abusing that was because of high level alchemy, but with the tier 4 relic that I took, which leads us to the tier 4 relic here, the Treasure Seeker. To be honest, I really didn't like the tier 4 relics all that much. It was... they were all just kind of meh. Like, I could easily see, like, the AFK-able Din's fire thingy, where just, you could AFK at the Winter Tot all day. And I was considering that, you know, to be honest. That was one of the things that I was considering. Just getting 200 million firemaking XP, just completely AFK, no need to worry about, like, actually paying attention or anything. I got 1 million 100 million fire making XP to get those points. So realistically, I would have just with that perk, I would have been able to get 200 mil, no problem. But that's another extra 100 mil, and that's a lot of work. Would have saved me a little bit of time. Actually, probably not that much time for 500 points. Realistically, that's kind of just what it did. That's just all I could see about it. And I'm kind of glad I didn't take that perk because Treasure Seeker actually kind of had a lot more benefit to me than I thought. I'll actually show up on screen here how many clue scrolls that I actually did. For the record, by the way, I was actually one of the few people that just like took stats, took like screenshots of like everything. Like during the last day, I'm like, I want to memorize this. I want to have this in my memory of just this Twisted League because it was just so much fun. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to mention. While I was at the Wintertod, I got the Phoenix Pet. So that's just a free 900 points there. If you want some proof here, like, hey, look at my insured pets here. Why the heck is there a beaver there? I got that, like, way later. When I got that beaver, I was pissed. I'm gonna be honest. I was pissed off. Uh, I was so angry that I got the beaver pet that I didn't even bother taking a screenshot. I was complaining to my girlfriend, just like, I got the beaver pet. And I can't keep him. It's not even like a great pet to flex on. Like during the next league, it's not even gonna be like a, oh, you got the beaver. Oh, that's swag, dude. Yo. It's like the Phoenix is better than that. Let's be real. What probably would be even a bigger flex is just getting a colored Phoenix for the next league. Just like doing all the clue scrolls and just getting like 250 fire lighters of whatever thing, and then just like being like, yo, check out my colored Phoenix! Bam! That's just more like a show off there. I know the Phoenix pet was the most common pet, but like at the very least, you can have like a that has a status symbol of I was in the previous league status, you know? I was lucky enough in the last league and I'm in this league now. Like that's kind of got that like nice status symbol, but like the beaver, you get anytime you can get the beaver. You can get it at any time, and if we're going to be like in Mauritania, like that's going to be like Although I don't think it's as much of a status symbol as like say an Olm pet or like the Alchemical Hydra pet. But yeah, I didn't do combat. I skilled. I got the Phoenix pet and the beaver pet. I don't think like I'm kind of think back to it, and I'm kind of wondering if I would even be in the top 5% without those pets. Mathematically, yes, I would, but that 500 points ended up getting me my final relic. Uh, like I was only a couple hundred points away. I did the Tithe farm as well. That was really easy points. But primarily Wintertod and the Tithe farm were the realistically the biggest points that I got. Oh yeah, some of the other things that I forgot to mention about the Hardcore Harvester perk. So I was doing some aerial fishing and got the golden trench. I didn't take a picture of that, but like that was just hilarious. And Hardcore Harvester tripled that, so I ended up getting a free 100 points to spend on the like angler outfit. Not fully, but my luck during the Twisted League. That's 1,000. That's 1,100 points that I got purely off of luck. If I hadn't gotten that, I don't think I would actually be in the top 5%. I'll be honest. I'll be perfectly honest. Because that ended up getting me my final relic, which was the double experience relic. Honestly, none of the other relics were like really that good. It was really obvious that that was the best one. The double experience. Why wouldn't you take that? Honestly, I feel like if you took the one tick faster attack speed, you were kind of just doing this to have fun. You just wanted to enjoy the game as it was. You just want to have fun. If you went experience-wise, you wanted the points, and you know the points can be fun. The points are obviously like really fun. I had so much fun getting all those points. But if you went the one tick attacks faster, uh, you were just out to have fun. Everyone knew that you were out to have fun. You didn't have a plan. Maybe you did have a plan, but it wasn't for points. It wasn't for points. You wanted it to, cause you wanted to have fun. I was just, it's just such a good relic, double experience, so good, so good. 10 times experience and everything, 20 times an artisan. And I think if I wanted to give myself, future myself, any words of advice, it would be find the things that you can abuse the most. Before you decide on any relic, look at what you can abuse. What aspect can you abuse the most? And stick with that. Again, the first relic was my biggest mistake, but every other relic that I took had some sort of abuse taken onto it. The Treasure Seeker, to be honest, I didn't abuse that much, but I don't know. Not at least not compared to like all the other people that you abused Treasure Seeker. Everyone else abused Treasure Seeker so much more than me. But yeah, I feel like you need to abuse uh, any relic that you get and any advantages that you can find, which is why I think that Endless Endurance was so popular. I couldn't abuse the accumulator, but anybody and their mother can abuse Endless Endurance because it's just infinite run. You never worry about the downside of not having run. That's just what it does, and it's so powerful. But that's the advice that I would give to my future self. Be able to abuse the things that you got. And that's what I ended up doing with the Hardcore Harvester and the Eye of the Artisan, especially. That was a combination that I was really, really able to abuse, and just what I had fun doing. I had fun skilling all that stuff. It was so much fun. If it wasn't for the fact that I really wanted points and the fact that I have a girlfriend that I want to spend time with and just watch all these shows together, like play all these games together. If I wasn't trying to focus on AFKable tasks, I probably would have stuck with the accumulator route and kept going through all the combat skills. But I also really didn't like unnatural selection, and I kind of underrated that hugely. I think if I ended up choosing the unnatural selection perk, I probably wouldn't be here talking about the Twisted League. It was fun, but at the same time, I could be doing that on my main. I have this weird mentality where if I can't do this on my main account, if I could just be doing this effortlessly on my main account, what's the point of doing, like, Twisted League? What's the point of doing Deadman mode? If I could just be doing this on my main account. That's just kind of the mentality that I got. I never wanted to have a second account. The Twisted League provided opportunities for me to give me a reason why I would be on there instead of on my main account. It gave me reasons, and I think that is what the Twisted League was about. It was about being able to explore things that you wouldn't be able to normally do grinds that were pretty unique to the Twisted League. I didn't expect to do the Lovacaine, smithing armor sets to 99 or at all, really. I didn't expect to be chopping magic logs to get 99 fletching either. I did not expect a lot of things. I didn't expect to be stealing artifacts for the thieving experience. I didn't expect to be doing a lot of the things that I did. If we can continue that tradition of just doing things that you can't normally do, like getting like 1,000,000 gold per hour doing hard clue scrolls, because you get so many of them so frequently, and I also had a bit of good luck on those. I didn't expect to be getting all those clue scrolls, and really how much fun those clue scrolls were. I should also mention that in the clue scroll hunting, the profit, I did not expect to be making so much profit. The runes I kind of expected. The runes were to be expected. I underestimated how many of them I got, but also I had the accumulator, so I never cared about the amount of runes that I had. It was only when I was going out to do combat that I really cared, or mass produce, or mass high alching several magic longbows unstrung. The clue scrolls gave a lot of profitable alchemables. Like, a lot, and I never really expected that. And I kind of wish I abused that more, because I only did a lot of clue scrolls at the end, and had I known that, I probably would have gotten 99 construction. I'll be honest. Like, the profit is really good. So many of these things just you can't do in the vanilla version of RuneScape. And I'm happy to be returning to the regular RuneScape because I'm still having fun. I'm still trying to get the rune crafting grind at 99. I'm at 94 right now. Feels like I've been stuck there for 4 months. Yeah, I took a 2-month break. I wasn't gonna go back to the main account to do more rune crafting grinds. Screw that. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And if Jagex can get me more reason to play Twisted League over the main game, just all these weird, bizarre things that you can just do. We need more things like that. It gives light to the less optimal strategies of grinding, really. You find the weird, bizarre method that you only knew back in 2007, 2010, when the game was still so young and not optimized at all. We need to be reminded of those weird, random training spots in like the most bizarre corners of the map, and then suddenly seeing everyone there. It flips the game on its head, and I couldn't be happier with it. And those are my thoughts on the Twisted League. And I wanted to share this, if for no other reason than to just look back on this moment as just me being happy. Because Twisted League made me really happy during those 2 months. And yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant about the Twisted League. And you guys have a wonderful day. Love you guys. Love every weird random viewer that you are. That sounds really creepy, actually. I'm gonna cut that. Future me, cut that. Cut that out. Cut that out. I just had fun. I had fun. Did I forget anything? I feel like there's just something I randomly forgot to talk about. I don't know, just ask me in the comments if I had any more thoughts. I'm just some random top 4,000 player. You could probably ask like just anyone else what their thoughts on, but I had fun. And I just wanted to record. That's all I wanted to do. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Just watching my rant. If you made it to the end of the video, why? My throat. I gotta lean off that dick sucking.